How did you guys think of the name Elsinore?
It actually came about before the band even formed. I was in college and kind of getting my feet wet as a musician and a singer-songwriter, and I saw that name Elsinore. There's this farm outside of Charleston where I was living, going to school, where I'm from, called Elsinore Farm, and they got it from Shakespeare's Hamlet. And when I saw it, I decided that I would put it into a song as a name of a town that I was going to, and I came back home and my town was torn up and all these things were happening. So it was the significant like vacation spot for me in one of my early songs, like when I was like 21 or something. And so then when the band formed, it just kind of made sense. And it's amazing to me. We've been together for 5.5 years, and that it still works, even though our sound has changed over the course of those 5.5 years, and that we've grown into like more of a career-minded adult band. And it's just amazing to me that it doesn't feel like we've ever needed to change our name. You know, so that shows me that it shows me that it was a good choice early on, even though we had no idea it was going to be the right choice and that where we would be in 5 years. So it's a really cool part of it. It's really organic and it makes sense. All the chemicals inside
Great. Any crazy stories from the road?
We've got some pretty crazy ones. We're not a band that really, you know, we don't like bring beer and weed into the van or anything.
Yeah.
So anytime we
just
get
outside.
Yeah. One time in Wyoming, we got pulled over. We were going the speed limit. We get pulled over. You know, out-of-state plates, big blue van, and I'm driving. And he comes up and he's like, "How'd you guys going a little bit fast there?" And I was like, "What's the speed limit?" And he's like, "You know, it's 70." And I was like, "Well, where are we going?" 71. I figured I'd just let you know that you just slow it down a little bit. We want you guys to be safe. Where are you guys headed? Blah, blah, blah. Goes through the whole thing. Would you mind if we search the van? And I was like, well, no, I guess that'd be okay. You're not going to find anything that you're looking for, so go ahead. So gets the dog out of the back of their canine car.
Of course.
Dog sniffs our van, and then they're acting nice the whole time, talking about, "Oh, we just saw Creed up at the whatever center, and man, it was so good. You guys kind of like that?" And we're like, "No, we're not really like that at all." But that's cool that you saw Creed at that whatever place, and it ended okay. They were really nice. They're like, just be sure to keep your speed down when you're in whatever county we're in. So that was one of the better.
Fine.
Yeah, the dog sniff.
Do you have any major influences that came with the band, or your type of music, your genre?
Yeah, I think so.
Not Creed though.
Yeah. Not. We're all huge fans of Radiohead and Death Cab for Cutie, and I've always been a pretty huge Beatles fanatic. That definitely makes its way into my songwriting and into our arrangements and the music that just comes out eventually. But I mean, there are so many bands that will either influence or that we'll get compared to sometimes. And it's really interesting whenever people tell us we sound like a band that we've never even heard of, or a band that we don't think we really sound like. It's interesting to get that, because you get those weird things sometimes. Like when people, I think a few people in a short period of time were like, "Man, you guys are sort of like the Killers," and I never made that comparison. And I've listened to some of the Killers' music, and I can hear a little bit of what they were talking about, but only because like I'm a male singer with a big voice and we play rock and roll music. Like that's like the only thing.
It's those musically uninclined people like myself that are like, "Oh, the Killers."
Yeah. You know, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's so funny. It's so funny when something like that happens, where 3 people in a week said that, and then no one has since. And then, it's so weird. Like maybe that week we were playing more like the Killers, and then for some reason, so I don't know. I never wore
like sing shows too, or
like 3 different shows. Wow. That's what's weird. And it's not like I was wearing the feather shoulder pads or anything, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But.